Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and I'm joined by
Duncan.
Your album Wanderlust gets released in its physical form. How psyched are you now, waiting for its release?
Oh, really excited about it. Coming out on the EMP label, which is really exciting. Been waiting for a little bit for this to happen, but all the timing is great, and I'm real thrilled about it.
So, how pleased are you with the responses from the media and fans?
So far, we just put it out in its digital form. The reviews I've had and the response from the fans has been real positive so far, and that came out digitally through Down Boys Records. So far the reception has been really good.
Which would you say is your favourite track on the release today, and why?
And that's a tough one. They're all those songs are like children, But one of my favorites is a song called Siempre 2. I think that's one of my favorites because it's so melodic and has a really cool arrangement. I think there's some a lot of different textures guitar-wise as far as guitar tone and so on. And the musicians, the drummer who played on it just laid down such a great drum track on that. But that would be, if I had to pick a favorite, that would be it. But I just love all the songs and really, really happy with the overall record.
Evil Knievel is a favourite of mine. Did you consider having vocalists on any of the tracks?
No, that was never an idea at all. When I wrote the material for the record, it was definitely intended to be an instrumental record. That was, when I sat down to write the material, that was my goal. That's what I wanted to do. It's something I wanted to do for a long time, was make a guitar instrumental record. So that was never even a thought at all. The guitar is kind of the lead vocal. The funny thing about that song, Evil Knievel, is that it was an afterthought, or not an afterthought, but it was something that I wrote really at the end of the record, because we looked at the amount of tunes we had, and it seemed a little shy, a little short. So me and the producer, my co-producer, Jason Constantine, he said, well, why don't you go home and write something, write a shuffle. We don't have a shuffle tune. And I said, okay. So I wrote Evil Knievel and brought it back, I think the next week or whatever it was, and got it laid down. And a lot of people really liked that one. So it's pretty cool that I see such a favorable response to that song, because it was something that was created pretty much when the album was finished.
It's going to be so nice as well to obviously be able to have an actual copy in your hands. Do you think there will ever come a time when everything is going to be digital?
Oh, I got to say, I hope not. I think it's really nice to have, especially, when I know there's still a lot of fans out there who like that. As a creator of music, as somebody who makes records, I always like to have a physical copy in my hands, something tangible, because when you create something, you want to be able to hold it in your hands. You know what I mean? I hope not. I mean, I think that would be a shame, because with physical records, there's a lot of art involved. There's the music itself. There's the artwork of the record. I just think it's a really cool thing to own physically. I really do. I hope it doesn't go away.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, now this is just a question that I've seen on YouTube, so don't shout at me, right? Did you contemplate doing some Odin or Armored Saint instrumental versions on the album?
No. There really wasn't any point in doing something like that, because Armored Saint, of course, a band I absolutely love and have been involved with for many, many years. We're just wrapping up a new album, actually. That stands on its own. Odin is another band that I'm, very happy that I was a part of. It was my first band, really. And, that those things kind of their own, the records are there. This was something, completely separate of any of that other avenue of expression. I think if people listen to the record, to my record Wanderlust, they'll see that there are different paths and directions that I took musically that might not fit into either one of those bands, or even be close to that type of music, although it's rock. I didn't want to rehash anything that's already out there. I just wanted to create something new and something fresh for myself musically. I wrote all the songs, and Jason Constantine was the guy who recorded the record and co-produced it with me. And it was pretty much just me and him that did it. It was just a two-man show, really. I got a great drummer who played on it, a guy named Alex Papa, who's a drummer out here in Las Vegas, who I know. The guy, Michael Masonette, played drums on a song for me. Guy Fritz O'Hara played bass on a song. And actually Joey Vera from Armored Saint played bass on a song for me. So as far as musicians, that's who played on it. Jason, the producer, actually played bass on a song as well. But it was pretty much just me and Jason from the ground up that built it. Me and Jason and the drummer, Alex Papa, are pretty much the guys who made it happen.
So are there actual plans to take this out on the road?
I'd very much like to do that. Of course, it depends on the demand for it. Depends on what makes sense. You know what I mean? I have put together, pretty much a band to play it live, and I think we're going to do a show or two, one here in Vegas, maybe one in LA, and take it from there. But I definitely plan on performing the record live sooner than later. Sometime a little bit after the record comes out physically. I'll probably do a record release show of some kind here in Vegas and one in LA.
Can you tell us what is happening in the Armored Saint camp?
We're just wrapping up the new record. It's pretty much, I think, going to be mixed pretty soon. So we should see a release around August.
They say you could be a rock star for 5 minutes, but you've managed to still be in the business since the 80s. What do you put that down to?
Well, that's a real good question, and I think part of it is that I'm insane. But I just love to play music, and I never really set out when I started to play guitar and play music. It really wasn't ever a thing about fame or fortune or anything like that. It was always about that I just really loved doing it. The cool thing is that the longer you do it, like anything else, the better you get at it. So the better you get at it, the more enjoyable it is. So for me, it's just something that I love to do and something that I've always done, and my passion just grows for it, as the years go on. So I think that's really it. I just really love doing what I do.
Carrying on with the 80s theme, can you tell me the most outrageous thing you did back in those days?
I don't know. I think there's a lot to be said for the fact that I'm still standing. That gate that was. There's really too many that I remember that I can't remember. It's all real fuzzy. But I'll say that it was all just crazy. That's a crazy time, and that was a crazy place to be. I really just couldn't say. I think the whole thing is just one big. It's just such one big explosion of things. I think just being there in and of itself is one big outrageous episode.
You would have had many career highlights, but if you could choose one right away, which one would it be?
I remember when Armored Saint came back together in 2000. The first record we did when John Bush returned to Armored Saint in 2000, and we did the album Revelation. We played at the RAWKS Festival in Germany. Mm-hmm. And I remember we went on stage right at sundown, and the crowd was really excited, and we were kind of returning, and the feeling and the vibe of that show was just so magical, and it was such a great show, and the crowd was just, it was just a big love fest. I mean, it was such a great show. It definitely stands out as something real special because we didn't know if Armored Saint was ever going to come back. So when we did that show, and it was such a huge crowd, and there was so much love in the air for us. That was a pretty big deal. That was something I'll never forget. Was how great that was. And there wasn't one equipment failure or sound problem or guitar problems or anything technical that happened. It was a perfectly smooth show, and that one sticks out pretty big for me.
Of course, the music scene and the world has changed since you started out. Are you glad you started out now rather than in 2020?
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't really have a choice, but yeah, I think so. There were a lot of great guitar players that were, big. Eddie Van Halen had started to make his mark, definitely, and there were just so many great guitar players. So getting good was something that was really important. Everybody was stepping up to the plate. It was all about being. Everybody was trying to excel and be really good.
And can you tell us why we should check out Wanderlust?
If anybody's familiar with my guitar playing over the years, I think they'll find it enjoyable to listen to. For one, something a little bit different in terms of the different types of layers that are going on. I mean, it's definitely a rock album, but I just got to step out and explore the guitar a little bit more, and that's not to say that playing in a band with vocalists or anything like that. I mean, hey, I'm in a band with John Bush. I mean, I play with a great vocalist, and I got zero problem with anything like that. But And with this album, I got to just express myself with just my guitar and just go down a different road musically. I think that people will find it interesting, if they're familiar with my style and how I play. This is just kind of a solid offering of just me as a guitar player.
Do you have any final words for your fans and our listeners?
Just everybody out there, thanks for all the support over the years, and check out Wanderlust. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and hope to see everybody out on the road sooner than later. This is Jeff Duncan from Armored Saint, and you're listening to the Metal Gods Meltdown.